depending on the time that you're watching this. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go any further, do me a favor. Hit the like button right now. It lets YouTube know that this is a video worth sharing out. Your like helps this channel and this video make it to the eyes that may need to see it. So please do me a favor, hit the like button right now. I greatly appreciate it. All right, so now let's get started with the topic of the day. You see the title, you see the thumbnail, okay? Fresh and Fit versus Mr. Jason Wilson. Now, some of you may not know who Mr. Jason Wilson is, but many of you definitely probably know who Fresh and Fit is. Both content creators, well, one set is content creators, the other one is a mentor, sensei, father, husband, leader, all that stuff. But then the others just content creators on YouTube. So Fresh and Fit became famous, dare I say infamous, for their talking points on manhood. They built a platform targeting men, and from the outside looking in, for many men with any level of experience in life, it seems. Now, some of you guys get upset when I talk about Fresh and Fit, so I'm trying to be gracious here. However, please hear my heart. It seems like they have used the ills of men in order to build a platform and gain money, notoriety, solely talking about the issues that men face and not necessarily the solutions. Now, men should be solution focused and not just problem focused. I can't deny, because many of you guys have shared with me the many great things they have done for you guys. Not personally, just what they say on the internet that you felt resonated with you and it helped. So I can't argue with the fact that they may have helped many people out. But I can objectively say that as a grown man, a husband, father, teacher, mentor, a lot of the stuff that they share on the internet, on YouTube with you guys are a lot, pretty much superficial. And it may make you feel good for the moment, but it's not going to give you that longevity of success when it comes to being a man, operating in your masculinity, which many of you guys don't even really know what that is. You believe that what they're doing is telling you how to be masculine when really it's not, or being a man, but really it's not. But yeah, Fresh and Fit, they're big time, huge. Okay. And regardless of the fact of them being demonetized on YouTube, trust and believe they probably won't go anywhere unless YouTube kills their channel altogether. Because with apps like Streamlabs, you can accept donations just as easy as you could with super chats, except you keep 100% of the proceeds. 100% of the people that give you money on Streamlabs, PayPal or whatever, Cash App, you get to keep. But they're not going to go anywhere. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about which one of the two would be better beneficial to you if you are trying to identify what it means to be a man. Now, I have written a book called From a Fatherless Father to His Sons about my journey growing up without a father to becoming a man. And these are the lessons I teach my son, the young man I mentor, the lessons that I learned that I try to share. What I appreciate about Mr. Jason Wilson is, in addition to him being an author, this man has been through the fire, been through the trenches of manhood, came out on the other side, and is able to not just share from his experience, not just from his ideologies, but he's also able to share on his victories in being a man, and being a husband, and being a father. Things that you will never learn from the young man in Miami. So I wanted to show you guys a video. Okay. In this video, Mr. Jason Wilson discusses his opinion on manhood. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is because as much as you guys may want to watch Fresh and Fit, and I'm not going to tell you not to. I don't recommend them, but I'm not going to tell you not to. That's totally up to you. I do want to give you guys an alternative to what can help you in your journey to manhood. I wanted to give you an alternative person, a man that has, like, truth of the matter is this guy, Mr. Jason Wilson, from Detroit. Okay, master martial artist, black belt in a few different, and a couple of degrees of black belts in a few different fighting styles. Educator, devoted father, devoted husband. Like this, he is what you would consider a man's man, because he's not just on the internet talking about it. I gotta add that. He's not just on the internet talking about it or inviting girls on a panel to dunk on. He's focused on men and mentoring men, like genuinely mentoring men. And I doubt he's charging $897 an hour to mentor these men. In fact, he's seeing young men from Detroit for free, mentoring them. Izzy Faith, what's going on? Salute, Dre. Glad you're highlighting Mr. Wilson, Mr. Jason Wilson. I love his philosophy, and I'm about to show a video right now on that comprehensive manhood. So yes, he is beneficial to manhood and young men who are looking to identify what a man is. He's not just on the internet talking a whole lot of smack about how horrible women are. He's doing the work. He definitely has more life experience, more maturity, and more real life accomplishments. He can provide tangible reference points on how his own advice has been working out for them. And all I want to do is give you guys another reference, an alternative to manhood. Somebody that's actually doing it, that has struggles, but overcome those struggles. He's an example. He's an example. So I wanted to highlight him and share with you guys an alternative, to a positive alternative to Fresh and Fit. So I'm going to play this video real quick, and it looks like I'm lagging. Let me know if I'm lagging, guys. If I am, please let me know. So I wanted to share this video, his philosophy on comprehensive manhood. All right. And also, what I appreciate about the brother is that he's a believer. Yes, he is a follower of Yeshua, of Jesus and his ways. So shout out to Mr. Jason Wilson. All right. So let's play this. Sensei Jason Wilson. I'm not sure if he refers to himself as sensei, but either way, let's listen.
It has been said that no matter where you go, there you will be.
Put a one in
In
the
other
chat.
words,
Hear
we
the
cannot
audio.
escape ourselves. Therefore, men, it's imperative that we learn how to wage and win the war within, the mental and emotional battle inside all of us, the one that we fear the most, and looks like this: unresolved anger, self-pity, suicidal thoughts, trauma, resentment, and depression.
Doesn't all of that sound like red pill attitudes and behaviors? Now, let's address some solutions.
So what is the war within? It's an introspective or inner battle between the right you know you should do and the wrong that desires to rule you. When I first posted the title of my new book, Battle Cry, Waging and Winning the War Within, someone assumed I was referring to crying. Although my previous book, Cry Like a Man, was about how releasing trauma can help you attain mental and emotional freedom, in Battle Cry, I'm teaching you how to fight to keep it. So for clarity, a battle cry is a shout by soldiers going into battle to express unity and intimidate the enemy. But sadly,
y'all see the scripture in the back? see the psalm in the back?
Many men today are so discontented with life that they no longer have the will to shout a battle cry and fight for what they desire and deserve. Their swords are sheathed and they suppress what makes them depressed. Warrior, if you are one of these men who are hurting
and then what they do is they lean from their basements in their seclusion, they lean on content creators and live vicariously through them instead of standing up and fighting.
hiding, tired of not being able to say you're tired, weak without the confidence to be strong,
Mm,
strong with nowhere to go when you're weak.
mm.
I want you to know that there is a life to live beyond the limitations of what you've been deceived to believe, or should I say, programmed to believe it means to be a man. For decades,
And I like to call that the red pill. I like to call that the red pill.
I was losing the war within myself. I couldn't calmly articulate my feelings regarding an offense, and like many of you, I would yell or even fight in order to hide that I had been hurt. Instead of swatting away the mosquito, I would wait for it to land on a glass table, then kill it with a sledgehammer. Think about that. I was willing
And then what happens to the table? The table shatters.
to risk it all to be heard and to be right.
Yeah.
My toxic thoughts turned into destructive actions that, brothers, I regret even to this day. I almost lost my marriage, my family, and my mind. So, my brothers, when we cannot introspectively confront our negative thoughts and emotions, we will always be conquered by them. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I am a living testimony that you can win this battle. Over the next several weeks, I'm going to share with you training excerpts from each chapter of my book, Battle Cry, in order to give you an overview of how this is done.
And I don't have
But I
the book yet,
forewarn
but I
you,
plan on buying it.
Battle Cry is not a 7 Steps to Success book, because this war is one you will have to fight daily for the rest of your life. Breaking free is one thing, my brothers, but staying free is another. You will need to be a man of courage and action, proactively taking captive every negative emotion
Listen.
and toxic thought
Listen,
before they enslave you.
listen.
So if you're ready to fight and win the war,
Who's enslaving you? Who's the red pill? Hey, yo, what's good, bro? Where you been? Where you been? It's good to see you here.
that will change your life. Gather yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally as I take you down the narrow path of training that will empower you to break through what you've been through. Shalom until next week, and don't forget to order your copy of Battle Cry.
So here's a positive alternative to Fresh and Fit. The young men in Miami. Many of you guys, a couple of you guys have contacted me and shared with me how influential Myron and Walter are in your life. And then when I ask certain questions, it seems like there's some cognitive dissonance there. There's some naivety there. And when I ask them, do you agree with everything they say? You know, they don't tend to answer that. And that's my concern, which is why I got so much heat when I posted what I posted about Mr. Kevin Samuels. May he rest in peace. Not everything that the man says you should agree with. You should be critical of some of the things he says if you don't agree. But we live in a time today where it's so polarizing that if you just disagree with one thing that somebody says, you're automatically labeled an hater. I hate you because I disagree with what you say. I hate you because I disagree with maybe how you live. I like, do you see where I'm going? So if any man like myself become critical of certain talking points by the young men from Miami, he's labeled a hater. And when I question young men about that, they can't really think for themselves. And I encourage men to think for themselves. It's important for men to think for themselves. You can like the teachings of a specific somebody, but that specific somebody, that man, can't be your everything, or they can't like you, your life can't revolve around them. Then you be the simp that they be shaming men for being. But men like Jason Wilson is a good role model. And when I mean role model, I'm talking about a role model is somebody that has done exactly what you want to happen in your life, and you're trying to follow what he has done to achieve it. Fresh and Fit has a lot of great talking points that resonate with young men who may have had failed in attracting women. And because it resonates, you flock to them without critically thinking, how has the advice they're giving me worked out for them? Let me show you. For instance, some of you watching this are upset about how women respond to you. And instead of being introspective and instead of you being reflective about why that is and what changes you can make, you start pointing fingers at all the women in the world because you become bitter, resentful, hateful, jealous, angry. Instead of pivoting and identifying what you need to change in order for women to want to be around you. Neither Myron or Walter, which, by the way, Walter was caught paying somebody live. DJ Academics called him out live for funding some girl just to be his girlfriend and brought her on this live stream and was like, hey, this is my girl. I don't have to give her anything. And even when he tried to give her a kiss on the cheek, she was pulling away. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I know. But they don't seem to live the life that they're trying to tell you to live. And that's the issue, where Mr. Jason Wilson is living the life that many of you would want to live, including having a woman who loves and respects him for who he is. Not trying to create burning desire, but finding a woman that can love and respect you and know how to look for those women. And I'm telling you this right now. You're not going to be able to find a good woman just by watching the young men from Miami dunk on OF models. It just won't happen that way. Learn what you need to look for in women, not only what you should not be looking for in a woman. All right. But I want to show you this video real quick of his wife and what she says. This is profound. All right. Ladies, the caption says, ladies, your man is more than a protector and provider. He's human. This is what happens when you do the work inside yourself. You're able to find a good woman, right? Lead your family well. And she is going to respond to you the way she responds to Mr. Wilson.
Never put your husband, your man, your boyfriend, your partner, never put them down for being emotionally vulnerable. I'll speak for myself growing up. We want the man that's sweet and kind to us and romantic, but a lot of us, we want that little bit of roughness, that little bit of thug. You know, I had that in you. Like, I felt completely safe, but the minute that, you know, the man becomes vulnerable or emotional, it's like, oh, this nigga, you know, that's right. You know, he's soft. Don't be soft. The minute you do that, you can just forget about it. You've lost the battle. Respect their emotions. A man that can express his emotions is a more stable man. He's going to be a more stable husband. He's going to be a more stable father. He's going to be more stable in his workplace, and which is going to make him a more stable provider for your home.
That's it. So, do you hear that? Do you hear that? You identifying what a good woman is will lead you to this. You having good role models like Mr. Jason Wilson, will lead you to this. And you asked me a question: how do you know how Fresh and Fit are living? I only know what they are presenting on their show, and what they're presenting isn't really what they're telling everybody else. Like, for instance, I just shared the experience that Walter had when he was embarrassed or, you know, exposed for the girlfriend he claimed was his girlfriend just because she loved him, and it wasn't so. She was, you know, I guess an OF model. And then Myron himself admitted that the show they do is their life. They don't do anything but the show. So that's my point I'm making. Mr. Wilson is out there actually doing the work. Now, here's my question to you, Cephas. All right, here's my question to you. What is the desired outcome? Now, I said this to a young man this past week. We had a great discussion. He disagreed with my position on Fresh and Fit, and we had a respectful conversation. And I asked him this question: what is your outcome? If your outcome is to play women, right? If you're not looking to settle down, if you're not looking to find a good woman, and you're watching Fresh and Fit, you're exactly where you need to be, or where you want to be. If you want to know how to play women and not get into anything serious, not grow up and be a responsible male in society, Fresh and Fit is where your lane is. Okay. But if you're telling me that you're looking to find a good wife, you want to have kids and raise a solid family, you want to have a good career, because check this out. Married men, statistically, men who are married in stable relationships tend to advance faster in their careers. Right? So if that's your outcome, Fresh and Fit, they're not the best option for you to listen to and get content from. And that's what I'm saying. If you're young, you're just playing, you're not taking life seriously right now, or you're watching them for entertainment value, by all means. All right. But if you really want to get serious about what it means to be a man and actually a true high value man in society, Mr. Jason Wilson must be the type of content creator you should watch and get your cues from. That's what I'm saying. So how do I know how they're living? They're telling us how they're living. And I'm not blind by, the me being a hurt, resentful man who was hurt and I'm in my feelings. I need men to validate me over the internet. I'm able to see through all that. Chew the meat and spit out the bones. Am I saying everything they say is bad? No. However, Preach said it best. Right? You can have prime steak, right? It's good steak, but if you put it in a pile of doo-doo, it's still good steak in a pile of doo-doo. So that's the whole thing, right? And hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for being here. Bella Rings in the house. Hey, yo, Miranda Walter's girl was a sugar baby. That too. And so you're asking, how do I know how they live? They're telling the whole world how they're living. Except some of us can think critically about the information they're giving. Some people cannot, because they idolize these men. They simp for these men, or these young men in Miami. And it's, truth be told, whenever another man simps for another man, it halts your growth as a man. But if you look at a man and see them as a role model, and you try to I'll give you a perfect example. I grew up without a father. I had good men in my life growing up, but they weren't really consistent because they had their own lives. My uncle was there, but he had, his life and he was living his life. My brother's father, but he had his life. Like, they were there for me on a phone call. And back then, things were so widespread that they can come, maybe a week or two to come and see me. I didn't have somebody I can call right then and there if I wanted advice, or have somebody come and talk to me. So I went through a lot of emotional ups and downs growing up without my father being there. And then at 17, I became a Christian and started going to church and, gave my heart to the Lord. And you know what I started to see? I started to see men. And let me tell you the type of men that I'm talking about. So, because some of you guys are like, what kind of men in church? These are the type of men, and this is an actual story, where type of men in the church where somebody came into the church and tried to rob the church. They tried to rob the church. You know what the men didn't do? Duck and hide. They stood up against this man. Some of them were, off-duty police officers, pull out their guns. Like this type of men that protect, that provide, that love. Okay. And I'm going to give you guys a scripture to culminate all this, right? These were men. They were solid husbands, present and active fathers, protectors in their communities. They had money. Why is it still open? My bad. They had money. Money. They had money. All the things, all right, well, part of the things that Fresh and Fit tells you guys you should have: be in shape. A lot of the men in the church, this specific church, was in shape. Have money. They all had money. All right. Be strong. They were all strong. You know what else they had? They loved Jesus. They loved their wives. They loved their children. They loved their community. They loved their church. Right? And I started to see certain things about these men that I wanted to implement in my own life. So I started to look at them as role models and watch and learn. Take mental notes and say, when I become a husband, I want to be able to do things like that. When I become a father, I want to be able to do things like that. Oh, that's how he responds when his kids are doing things. You know what? Let me see. I like that. And the kids are learning. Wow, like his wife and they're having a disagreement, and he's stern in his voice but respectful at the same time. I need to pull that too. But the thing is, with the young men from Miami, you guys can't do that, and probably because you don't really know them personally. But based on what you can see through their shows, their response may not be the type of response you want to implement in your own life. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. CP the artist, what's going on? Fresh and Fab, no experience with women, yet giving advice about women. I find so too. And especially if the podcast is their whole life, what time do they have in order for them to even practice what they're telling you guys to do? They can't practice what they preach. Jason Wilson, right, is preaching what he practiced. There's a difference. Some men don't practice what they preach, but then some men preach what they have practiced. He's done the work. He's an older man, I think in his late 40s, 50s, or whatever. He's done the work. He is a great alternative to these red pill podcasters out there. Great alternative. A wife that loves and respects him, which is what all you guys want. But on the flip side, you must be faithful to her. If you ever watch the interactions he has with his kids, he's actively mentoring and raising his kids to be strong, emotionally healthy individuals. He travels the country speaking to young men in prisons, in schools. He's in Detroit, Michigan, while the young men in fresh and fit living in Miami, living their best life. So, guys, don't block. Don't block. Cephas, let him rock. Okay, please don't block him. I appreciate it, my moderators who are here. But I as long as he's not cursing and being overly disrespectful, please don't block him. I would like for him to share what he wants to be able to say. Okay, so I greatly appreciate my moderators. I love you guys. Please let him rock. Let him talk. And if you've made it this far in the video and you haven't liked the video, please like the video right now. So there's the thing that I say right now. The thing I'm saying right now is that if you really want to grow as a man, and you are listening to Fresh and Fit, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I do want you to really focus on finding alternatives that would present actually what would be beneficial for you in the long run and society as well. Again, if you're looking to still play and you're watching Fresh and Fit, I don't agree with it, but at least you're consistent. If you're telling me that you want to be a good husband and you're listening to Fresh and Fit only, I got a problem with that. I got an issue with that. That's not going to help you out in the long run. They are not in the position right now to prepare you to be good men in society. They may tell you how you can get rich quick. They may tell you how to finesse women. None of that stuff really adds to your value in society. Kevin Samuels even said that one of the aspects of being a high value man is that you are of value to other people. There are superficial things that exist that are being told to men that's selfish and self-centered. But part of being a man is being able to sacrifice some of what you want for the benefit of others. Which is why I when he said the situation, that thing he said, Myron, about saving children was great, but saving you guys were better. Like I can't see that. That's not one of those things that resonate with me as a man. Like nah. If I see a man getting beaten up and I see a child getting beaten up, best believe I'm saving the child first. Like, where are we coming to in society today in these modern times when we ignore the pain and anguish of children because we have been hurt by women? Like, And that's why having somebody like, or watching content from somebody like Jason Wilson will offer you an alternative, a balance to what it is that you're looking for in being a man. And again, he's a believer. And because he's a believer, I think it motivates him to do what he's doing. But I do want to share with you guys this scripture right here. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible. You see, many people look at the Bible and think that it's a book for soft men. Nah, nah. There's a lot of examples of great men that did amazing things. And what I like about it is that it doesn't make, which I will add, many people in the red pill manosphere, they take talk like excerpts from the Bible and they start talking about these things without giving the Bible the credit. Okay, or they'll use the Bible for their own benefit while dunking on women. What we should be using with the Bible is saying, what can I do to make a change in my life so I can, be of value to other people? 1 Corinthians 16:13-14 says this: Be watchful and stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. And let all that you do be done in love. You know who's a great example of this, based only off of what I see from its content and from the testimonials of others? Mr. Jason Wilson. Real talk. Real talk. I don't see all of this coming from the young men in Miami. Well, and let's remove this here. Okay? Let's remove that for a second. Let's just focus here. Act like men and be strong. Men are leaders in the society, or they should be, right? Yes. Men don't let children go get hurt, or they won't prioritize another man's convenience over a child's pain. A man knows how to respond to a woman who's being disrespectful, even shut them down in a respectful way, and not call them out expletives and kick them out of their podcast studio. Don't they teach that men should maintain their frame? Watching videos from Mr. Jason Wilson, he teaches young men to maintain their frame, even when being attacked by another man with a weapon. He teaches men how to respond, not react. But if you simply watch Fresh and Fit, you're only going to learn through their examples how to react and not respond. This is stuff that you guys don't like, but it's all, and I'm not telling you guys not to watch them. I'm telling you guys, look for other content creators or videos on YouTube or people that you can look up to. Bro, you really need to come down to the UK and teach a lot of our messed up youth lessons and teaching about how to be responsible members of society. It's bad in London, man. First off, we are international. Shout out to my brother across the pond, but is it my brother? Since I get Dave, yeah. I would love to come to the UK. I would love to. I will grab my brother CP the artist and a few others to come out there. Chavis can come along too. I would love to come to the UK and do something out there for real. For real. However, true. However, they are profiting off immense pain. Real men guide me to solutions. Agreed. Sai, I will not go against our Lord's words. Blessings. We ignore the pain of men as well. That's why Fresh and Fit exists. So you was respond to that, CP. I agree with your response. So I'm not going to even expound on that. Yeah, fly us out. We got you. We got you. All right. But that's the whole thing. And then this last part, let all that you do be done in love. Jason Wilson said this, right? Let me exit this. We focus, and I'm paraphrasing. We focus so much on being nice, and being nice isn't the way we need to be doing it as men. We should be kind. We should be courageous. We should be compassionate. But the nice thing doesn't always cut it. All right. So in love, I can be aggressive when need to be aggressive. In love, if somebody's coming at my family and putting them in harm's way, in love, at that point, I will show a level of aggression in order to protect them, not my own ego, them. In love, if somebody does want to test me and disrespect me, in love, I can put them in their place and let them know, uh, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm not the one that you can talk to disrespectfully. In love, I'm being strong. I'm acting like a man. I'm not letting you run all over me, but I'm not trying to dominate you at the same time either. I'd rather have Christ as my representation of true masculinity, but my brother, I do think you're wrong about fresh and fit. I 100% agree with that first part. Christ is the ultimate measure of what it means to be a masculine man. Jason Wilson agrees and he follows after Jesus Christ, which is why he's a great alternative to fresh and fit. I will say this, Cephas. One thing that I hope you can agree on is not everything they say is beneficial. For instance, if you're a follower of Christ and you accept Christ as the ultimate measure of masculinity, then you must agree with me that things like telling men that they should sleep with at least 50 different women before finding a virgin and getting married is, first off, impractical, illogical, but not beneficial for the overall society. We can agree on that, right? I hope. I hope. Greetings, everybody. How are y'all? We're doing well. Fresh and fit are examples of Galatians 5:19-21. From what you've expressed about Jason, his 5:22-26. Yes. And guys, get your Bibles out. Sometimes we'll go into scripture, so get your Bibles out. And Gracious is from, he's here. He said, what's going on, fam? You're not the only one from across the pond today. Yeah, Fresh and fit don't follow Jesus Christ. No, they don't. Yeah, actually, they have they have admitted to not being loyal to any specific faith. From my understanding, Myron, I forgot his real name, but he calls it Myron. He has a background in Islam, but he's not following that either. I think Walter just follows everybody, like what you say, yeah. But either way, so truth be told, like I am not here to dunk on or disrespect Fresh and Fit. I am here to say that I do not agree with a lot of what they say as far as one about manhood. Now, I said this also about MTR. I'll say it about Fresh and Fit. If I want to learn about how to do a dope podcast, no doubt, I would sit down with Fresh and Fit and pick their brains on that. If I wanted to talk, learn about building up my financial portfolio, right, based off of what they've said that they've done, I would sit down with them. Okay, things like that. If I'm looking for a quality woman and I want to settle down and find a good wife, I probably won't sit down with Fresh and Fit about that. I just won't. There's no history there, visible history, at least from what they express, that they have been successful in landing a good woman. I haven't seen that. But the other now here's the thing. This is when compartmentalization is important. I can accept advice in this specific area from Fresh and Fit, but from this specific area, I could never. No, I can't. And that's how men ought to be. Okay. And that's the thing. If I want a successful marriage, I'm going to try to find a person who has experience in a marriage and get advice from them. If I want to know what I need to do as far as business, I'll talk to somebody who is good in business. Slightly OT, but wondered if you make your coffee from scratch or now this is actually decaf Bustelo. The doctor told me I can't have caffeine anymore. It hurt. So this is decaf Bustelo. I use a Keurig machine to make it. One of those portable things I put in a Keurig machine. So 100%. Yeah, here's the thing. I wish that they weren't, demonetized. But part of it is I wish they weren't demonetized, and I wish they were doing more positive content that would actually help the broader view of men. as a whole, and not just a couple. So, but honestly speaking, I do pray. I do pray for them. I have prayed for them in the past, and I will continue to. Whenever they come to my memory, I'll continue to. Admitting this, Fresh and Fit and MTR do have great video and audio quality. So does the non-red pill man of God, named Mike Shoemaker, the Shoemaker Way. Yeah, look. I think I am followed. I do. I think I do follow him. Yeah, but that's the whole thing. One of the things that men need to do is compartmentalize, right? If my doctor told me not to drink coffee, we are fighting. Yo, it took me a while. It took me a while. Yes, I said this earlier. Yeah, meat and bones. Pick out the meat from the bones. Fresh and Fit isn't perfect, but I believe they do more good than harm. Okay, respect, respect. If I was having a stomach ache, right, I would probably not go to my podiatrist for advice. Probably wouldn't. If I had blurred vision, I'm not going to my dentist. I'm just not going to my dentist. All right, I'm gonna go to optometrist. Okay, and I think men, it's important for us to be able to compartmentalize what we take in, which is why I'm telling you guys, if you guys want to continue watching Fresh and Fit, that's your prerogative. But please, 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 don't let them be the end all be all. Which is why I wanted to highlight Mr. Jason Wilson for you guys, because adding him to your content library may offer a balance in that space and give you an alternative to what manhood could look like. By the way, brother, your audio and video has me stepping up my game. I hope so. Thank you so much. I'm trying here too. I'm trying. Yes, it is important. It is important. Every man should be able to compartmentalize parts of their life, right? And what they receive and what they take in. But yeah, let me bring the scripture up one more time. Be watchful and stand firm in the faith. Act like men and be strong. Let all that you do be done in love. If this is my preference, okay, maybe because I'm a little older, Jason Wilson, Mr. Jason Wilson, definitely is a net positive for society today. Definitely. His track record, how he's living currently, he's the real deal. Tried, tested, through time, he's the real deal. Fresh and Fit, up and coming. They may be bigger than everybody else as far as reach and followers. But followers don't make you an expert in a specific field. It just means people want to hear what you have to say about something. And most people want to hear things that aren't always so positive, which is why shows like Real Housewives of Pick the City You Want is so popular. You guys can do whatever you want. You're growing up and you need to carve out your own path. But some of us, including myself, people like CP, we're trying to, and CP is even older than me, even though he looks 10 years younger. We're trying to sort of coach you guys in a way that would help you grow as a man. And I do think that Fresh and Fit, they're trying to do it in their own specific way or how they know how to. But we have to identify outcomes and what outcomes we want. If you want to be a strong, courageous man who people respect, who is successful, who has found a good woman, have a successful marriage and loving kids, you need to be able to put yourself in a position to follow people or learn from people that have done that is doing that may have failed in it and can tell you how not to fail also. Those are important. See, this is stupid. Amen. Be careful who you follow. Remember, the blind leading the blind. Always wanted to know your thoughts on the PUA and the day game. Can you PUA? What's PUA? What does PUA mean? Truth be told, that criticism can be made of red pill MGTOW content creators as a collective. 100%. They are mostly anti-marriage, and they promote sexual promiscuity and the eternal bachelor lifestyle. Yes, yes, they do. Which again isn't the most beneficial as a whole for society. Oh, pickup artists. What do I think about pickup artists? Uh, okay. So I believe some young men lack confidence to be able to go up to a woman and spark a conversation. I think men should learn certain skills in order to engage the people around them, not necessarily to just pick up a woman, because the thing is, pickup artists will tell you how to get a woman. They won't necessarily tell you how to keep a woman. I don't know if they do as much work on character building that's necessary for them to be successful in relationships. Pickup artists as a whole, I don't know if yeah, I'm not I think men need to learn how to be able to engage the opposite sex. Um but I think the work inside must be done at the same time or even before. Develop confidence. Learn how to accept rejection and move on. And yes, most of the pickup are lies. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to thread this a little bit more cautiously, because like just the other day, I was showing young men how to engage in a conversation with a woman. So, and by no means am I a pickup artist. Okay, I never really lived that whole like, let me pick up a girl, and nah. Pickup artists are still around. I thought the movement died around. It's not as big as it is. It's still there, but it's not as big as it is today. So yeah, but I'm not really into that whole pickup artist thing. But I do believe that young men really need to be coached on how to engage the opposite sex, especially if they lack confidence. Yeah, and most of them definitely are. Most of the red pill content creators definitely are the new pickup artist. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Mm. All right. Yeah, I sort of followed them at one point, but wait, yeah, I sort of followed them at one point, but one some channels I watched revealed they hired actresses. Oh wow, for some of the women, and I tapped out afterwards. Yeah, I know somebody who had a sugar baby who was sort of essentially hired to be his girlfriend on their podcast. Some guys from Miami. I don't know. Now let me stop. Let me behave. They're pickup artists without saying they are. Yeah, most of them are. Most of them definitely are. For sure. For sure. Yep. And shout out to you guys who are watching right now. Please hit that like button. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. See, most of it was lies. Yep. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't recommend pickup artists neither. That movement doesn't provide anything on how a man can vet. That's a very important word right there. A woman for marriage. They only promote vetting a woman for sex. And now, again, that's the difference when I mentioned before about outcomes. What's your desired outcome? If you're looking to just smash, and I don't agree with that, like I don't ascribe to recreational intimate activities because it leads to things that are lifelong, and it's just not what God intends for relationships to be like, then you listen to Fresh and Fit is consistent. But if you're looking to be a man of integrity and character and want to get married and be faithful to your family, at this specific phase, they're probably not the best content creators to be in, intaking information from. And that's it. Black Light Revelations in the house. What's going on, bro? All right. I'm on the grift, bro. But in a positive way. I'm grifting with light. So yeah, yeah. So glad you're here, bro. Glad you're here. So yeah, yeah. I am about to end it soon, but I do have a new format where I will answer a couple of questions that people may have to the best of my ability, either in the chat or you can let me put this in the chat by clicking. Now it's completely optional. You don't have to, but if you guys want to ask me a question, you can click that link that I just put in the chat, and I will bring you up. I pinned it to the top so you can have it there. Great example. DJ Academics almost got in trouble with the woman who he was dealing with the whole industry with the whole industry. That should tell why you should be careful with messing with certain women. 100%. 100%. A lot of these pickup artists from the early 2000s have come out as members of the alphabet community. Wow. Okay. Red pill content will keep you single, bitter, and lonely. Do you like Joseph? Do like Joseph did with his master's wife, Ron? And that's a good point because I say this right. For red pill content creators to stay relevant and stay successful, they have to make sure that the people watching their content continue to feel like women hate them. So it's like this, right? And I say this all the time. Like I have my master's degree in marriage and family counseling, and the job and the role of any good counselor, any good therapist, any good psychiatrist. Now this is minus um like certain disabilities that are lifelong, long term, certain traumas that you may experience. A good counselor, therapist, psychologist, they're looking to work themselves out of a business, meaning that they want to work with you until you and help you develop the skills so that you no longer need them anymore. Red pill content creators would probably be beneficial to you if they are trying to work themselves out of a business. That's the goal. Every good counselor, every good counselor is trying to give the person that their client, the person that they're helping, the skills they need so that they no longer need to see them as a counselor. That's how it should be. I remember that. I know which women you were talking about. Okay. Selena Powell. Let me go back up because I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm not sure what. Oh, okay. Got you. Got you. Okay. And shout out to Gracious Greatness for the £5. Is it £5 or €5? Either one. £5. Um, Greatly appreciate your support. And you are tonight sponsor for today's show. So thank you so much for sponsoring today's live stream. I greatly appreciate you. So you are the sponsor and the executive producer, the financier of tonight's live stream. So greatly appreciate it. I mentioned Redefine TV, which is a good channel. That's another healthier barrier of masculinity, but YouTube didn't seem to want to show it to you. Okay, got you. Yes, that is definitely a Redefine TV. Him and his wife, they have a solid marriage according to what they show. That's a good example. Glad to see you bringing up Mr. Wilson. Been watching him as well, and I can definitely agree. He is a great role model of biblical masculinity. 100% is. 100% agree. And I think more men need to be like he. I have to say it like this, right? Like he should be as big as the young man from Miami. He should be probably bigger because he's doing the work. He's actually doing the work. Got you. Yeah, I remember she sent him. I remember she sent him a cease and desist. That's why they don't talk to her as much anymore. Okay, I agree. Redefine TV is a great example as well. Yeah, there's many great alternatives. Now, if you want to watch them, the young man from Miami, do what you feel you need to do, but don't let them be the end all be all for what you listen to and watch pertaining to content about manhood and masculinity. Okay, you need to broaden your horizon, broaden your scope, and allow more positive content to come into your space so you can grow. There's also Godly Dating. I follow their podcast on Spotify. There's also Godly Dating 101. Can't remember the brothers and sisters' name. Ezekiel. Yeah. Yeah, I follow the Godly Dating one on Spotify. Yeah. There's a lot of great content out there that will help men. That really would help men. And yes, I believe that, I two things can be true sometimes at the same time. I believe that Fresh and Fit want to try to help men. I also believe that they want to make money off the men that they help. Okay. The reason why I believe that is how much they charge for their services outside of YouTube. But it is what it is. But there are other people out there that really want to help you And they're probably looking to monetize a little bit off of it, but not trying to beat you over the head over it or exploit your pain and trauma in order to get money from it. So uh, I'm not sure if it's a channel on YouTube. It might be, but it's definitely a show on Spotify. You're gonna sign off, bro. Thank you so much. It's pretty late too, man. Go get to sleep. All right, especially if you got work in the morning. I appreciate you and glad that you were here. Thank you so much. Yeah, check them out. All right. So since there's no questions, I'm going to sign off. Okay. But guys, I greatly appreciate everybody for watching. Didn't Fresh and Fit uh also scamming, exploiting, and followers. So so I will say this about that. It's not hard. It's not hard to see how they could have been scamming their followers. But I'm not saying that I don't know for sure if they were exposed or not. I have my own thinking about that I won't share now. But yeah, they may have, may not have. I'm not really sure. But even yeah, that's true. Even if that's the case, people still follow. The reason why, and I said this before, is that men need to learn how to compartmentalize. Okay. Once you start believing that everything one person says is the truth, then it's hard for you to be objective, which is like people think, like even me, I am critical of church. I've been a Christian for a long time and I've been active in church for a long time as well. And if somebody says something about some churches that's true, I'm not going to, be offended by it. I'm going to say, you know what, that's probably correct. Men have to be able to, and that's another thing. This is why men don't like going to church, because they can't compartmentalize things. We have to learn to compartmentalize things and say, this may be good, but this may not be so good. So I'm going to stay away from that. That's important. Fresh and Fit were misogynist. Were they or are they? Were they or are they? So yeah. Unless if they were and they're not anymore, good for them. But if they still are, they might still be. Great stream. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. And shout out to Cephas for coming in. I appreciate his input as well. Yep, Golly Dating 101 on a Christian channel, and they're on YouTube as well as Spotify. Got you. All right. Yep. That's correct. They are misogynists. All right. Yes, you're right. All right. So guys, let me sign off now. I appreciate everybody for watching. Ghost Illmatic is here. Jason Wilson is more popular because he talks manhood and stereotypical female language. So I wouldn't say he's more popular, but he doesn't. How do you suggest that he talks about manhood in the stereotypical female language? What does that mean? Give me an example of how he talks about manhood in the stereotypical female language. Hence, to talk about emotions more so than logic and reason. But so here's the thing about that too, right? Can we be objective? Let's look at this from a bird's eye point of view. Myron claiming while being emotional, because he just today I watched a video of him, right, talking about people shaming him for being emotional. And okay, so he's emotional. He was emotional talking about something that was pretty illogical. Saving men from being humiliated by women over saving children. So I guess, I'm not sure if I agree with that, to be perfectly honest with you. Jason Wilson talks about manhood to men. He doesn't talk about manhood to women. He talks to men and engages men about manhood. So, yeah, there's a big difference there. Lord, help us to love one another, our brothers and sisters, not being misogynist and misandrous. 100% my prayer too. I heard him talk. I'm trying to figure out where he's getting this from, but yeah. Uh, yeah. I'll concede Jason was probably man than Myron. That was wild. I pray we exhibit another more fruit and gifts of the spirit. 100%. Crying is not universally negative. No, it's not. Not at all. It's not. And so like Jason Wilson uh, is a great alternative or great addition to your content consuming library, especially when it comes to topics like manhood, because he's the real deal, guys. He's the real deal. So I do want to encourage you guys to go over and watch him and engage in his content. All right, but let me get out of here, yo. Thank you guys so much for watching this live stream or this video after the fact. Do me a favor. Hit the like button right now. It'll help us out greatly. Share, and YouTube will share this out in the algorithm and allow other people to have the opportunity to watch this video by allowing them to be exposed to it. And yeah, if you're not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification next to it so that it'll let you know when I upload new videos and when I'm going live like I'm doing right now. Also, if you'd like to support the channel financially, and shout out to A Gracious Greatness for being the sponsor of tonight's live stream. Thank you so much for your support. And if you'd like to support this channel as well and this video, you can do so by sending a super chat, or if you're replaying this, you can send a super thanks and you'll be sponsoring this live stream as well. Also, you can sponsor the channel by being a monthly donator, a monthly sponsor, in one of two ways. You can click below, hit the membership button, or you can go to patreon.com/Harrison Family Values. We have the exact same tiers, very inexpensive. It won't break the bank. And that support will help us keep this channel going and helping, hopefully, to add some value to some people's life. Also, you can buy some merch. If you look below on the channel, we have, or if you go to the store tab in the community on my channel, you can buy some merch there, and that merch will help support the channel as well. And what I like about this is my favorite way to support the channel. You get something in return. So it's not like you're just giving me money, right? You're buying something from me to help support the channel on this business here. So I prefer that way, but either way, it helps, okay? But you can't really I would like your monthly support, but you can buy an item every month, right? And then gift it to somebody else. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to close with this. Remember that, especially for some of us who grew up without fathers like myself, I know that it's important for us to find out what it means to be a man and be within our masculine frame. And if you're looking at content, I want you to diversify what you're looking for and the content you intake. Don't let any one specific content creator, even myself, be the end all be all for what you are looking for, even if it's fresh and fit. Okay, which is why I encourage you to also listen to people like Jason Wilson and podcasters and content creators like that as well. Even myself. You come over here, I welcome you guys. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. And until the next upload and live stream, I'm out. Peace.